Principles for Living Life to the Fullest. You can find that on Amazon as well. Next Level Motivation, Principles for Living Life to the Fullest. And my second one was a workbook. It's an all-pro mental playbook. And I'm so pleased to announce that I finished my first draft of my latest book, which is my book of quotes. The book of quotes. And so again, why would I write a book of quotes? What's the power of quotes? Well, there's many powerful reasons and many powerful effects of quotes. Here's just a couple. Number one, quotes are not that long. Quotes are very short, but they pack a very insightful message. You know, quotes have an opportunity that no matter where you're at in your life, you can find your own definition to what does it mean to you. You know, for example, we always talk about, we all have the ability of perception. Perception is how do you perceive things? How do you see things? What does it mean to you? What does it not mean to you? Your perception. And so every time we perceive something, we can define it based off of how it is for our life and what does it mean to us. And so again, quotes have a wonderful and a powerful way to do that. You can read something and it can speak to you in one thing and it speaks to another person in another thing. That's called perspective. And so based off your perspective and your perception will determine the meaning of it for you. And so I'm pleased to announce that I just finished my first draft of my latest book. Okay, it's a quote book. And it's a book, it's over 250 original quotes that I've created. Again, as you know, I like to communicate. I like to connect with people. I like to inspire. I like to motivate. I like to energize people. And I believe that quotes can do just that. Quotes have the power to allow you to see something and encourage not only you, but somebody else. Have you ever had a situation where somebody was going through something and you wanted to encourage them, you wanted to lift them up, but you didn't quite know exactly what to say? Well, that's what quotes give you the opportunity to do. And so because of that, and because I find that as they say, less is more, because sometimes some of the most powerful things are inside of some of the most smallest things. You know, the Bible says, God says he confined the wise with the foolish things. He says, with the foolish things of the world, God confines the wise. What does that mean? It basically means that God doesn't look for the biggest things to kind of throw you off. He finds his greatest gems, his biggest power, his biggest impact, and sometimes just the smallest stuff. And he used that to confine the wise. Those people that just think that they're so smart. Those people that just think they have it all together. Those things that maybe even academically or aptitudely wise, smarter or have more than you may at that time. God used the smallest things to confine the wise. Think about the ant. Think about the life of an ant, how it's just so small. But you don't have to tell an ant what to do. You don't have to tell an ant where to go. You don't have to tell an ant how to store up for the winter. You don't have to tell an ant how to work as a team. You don't have to tell an ant to do his or her job. You don't have to do that. You know, see, so that's an example of how God can use the smallest things to confine the wise. And so recently, as I said, I just finished my first draft of my book, okay, book of quotes. It's an opportunity to really empower. And so listen, I want to thank everybody out there who already purchased, my first book. If you got the first book, type a 1 in. If you got my first book, Next Level Motivation, Principles for Living Life to the Fullest. If you got that already, do me a favor, type a 1. If you don't have it, type a 2. If you don't have it and you're going to get it, type a 3. You know what I'm saying? Check in where you're at. But again, all these resources, okay, I want to share this with you. I don't create these for money. I don't create books. I don't create all this stuff for money. Here's the slogan for my life. I love people and I use money and not the other way around. And so my passion in loving people has everything to do with how can I pour out as much as I can to help somebody, to connect with them, to inspire them, to motivate, to energize them. And so as I do that, I'm living my life purpose. And so again, I want to continue to pour these things out in ways that it can be left for people to have, to read, to empower and impact their lives. Think about this. We're living right now because the way we're living in our lives right now, a lot of times is because of people who have come before us. That basically means that they left a legacy. And their legacy wasn't so much just in what they earned. Because for a lot of us, like me, I grew up in Camden, New Jersey. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have a big inheritance of people around me who had a lot of money, who had I didn't have that. But what I did have is I had people who I knew wanted to make sure that the knowledge they have, the information, the experiences that they have, they were able to pass it along and they were able to pass it down. So again, leaving an inheritance is not just what you earn, but what you learn. What are the experiences you're having in your life that your children, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren needs to know? What is that? Because remember, if it dies with you, meaning if it transitions with you from this period of time, from time to eternity, then basically you failed them. You failed them. I know it can be very hard to hear that, but you failed them if you did not take your life experiences and put them together in some way to be able to offer them as a gift to the next and the next generation. You see, what I do with my life now in terms of motivational speaking, encouraging, working with businesses, organizations, teams, and individuals has everything to do with me planting a seed for the environment, for my grandchildren and for my great-grandchildren. You see, when I speak to you or I speak to the next generation of kids, here's what I'm doing. I'm helping them develop a mentality, a mindset, and a way of living life that's going to not only benefit right now, but that's going to benefit my second and third and fourth and fifth generation. You see, if I can get it in them, then it can come out of them. And so the only way that I can do that a lot of times is by speaking to them, but writing things, creating videos, writing books, writing articles, writing blogs, whatever it is. So that way when I am going, okay, my word, my message, my spirit of the words that can continue to carry on, and people can look at it and say, oh wow, Donovan went through that. I'm going through this. This is how he got out of it. This is how I can get out of it. Oh, I have a problem. Here's a solution for it. Because why? Because somebody came up with a solution. So I challenge you as well. See, I'm talking about the books that I wrote, but I'm asking you, where's the books that you need to write? Where's the notes that you need to have inside of your phone where you're taking out the time to say, here's an exercise for you. And I talk about this in my book. The first one, Next Level Motivation, Principles for Living Life to the Fullest. Remember, you can find it on Amazon. In one of the chapters, I talk about writing your journey. Writing your journey. And that's basically kind of a personal memoir. Everybody should do this. Everybody. And here's what you should do. You should look at your life and you should write down what are the top 5 biggest moments of your life. What are the top 5 things that you've overcome in your life? The top 5 challenges that you've had in your life. I want you to write that top 5. And then from that top 5, in each one of them, I want you to write 3 moments in each of those. Okay, it can be generational time periods. It could be what you remember from ages 0 to 10. And think about, man, what is the biggest impact that you have? What is something that keeps coming up over and over in your life? It keeps coming up. Why? Why is this thought keep coming up? It keeps coming up because it's trying to get out. It's trying to remind you, hey, here I am. I'm something, or I'm an experience that need to be passed down because it means so much to you. And if it means so much to you, how many of you guys know that sometimes the thing that means a lot to us, the things that we went through, somebody else may go through the same thing. So you may say, okay, I want to break down my life into periods, 0 to 10, 11 to 20, 21 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50. And I just want to say, okay, out of each generation, each chapter, each generational block, here's something that was really major. Here was an experience that I had that I felt in a way changed my life for the good and or if you perceive it as the bad. But when you write it down, and then for each one you do, write 3 things, 3 lessons learned during there. 3 lessons. So here's what you're going to have. You're going to have your own personal memoir of the 5 things you went through, the biggest landmarks of your life, along with 3 different things within each. Here's the benefit of that. Number 1, it allows you to release it. There's some people that need to write this because you need to release it from your life. You're walking through life with 1 foot facing backwards and 1 foot facing forward. But doing this allow you to turn both feet forward and allow you to walk where you need to go. Why? Because you dealt with what you needed back in the past. You've identified with the fact that, yep, I did go through this. I went through this. I experienced this. But beyond me just experiencing this is what I learned. This is what I felt. This is what I thought. Now this is how I feel. This is what I'm thinking. And this is what I plan on doing beyond this. You see, doing that personal memoir can make all the better difference in your world to taking you to the next level. I guarantee you right now as I'm speaking this, I know I just know that there's somebody on the other side that can relate to this. If you can relate to what I'm saying, do me a favor, type of 1. Okay, type of 1. If you can relate to, and now in fact, you know, type of 4, so you don't get confused with the other one. Type of 4. If you can relate to what I'm saying, man, you know, and here's what I want you to type of 4 for. If you say, you know, Donovan, it does make sense to me that how if I write my personal memoir, if I do what you're saying, I mean, take the top 5 areas of my life or my generation, or top 5 biggest moments of my life, and if I then break it down to what are some of 3 lessons that I learned, okay, during each one, if I do that, that have actually released me, even, you know, released me to move forward. Or it actually helps me celebrate my journey. Or it's something that the next generation and my great grandchildren can learn, or desire to learn, or desire to know, that will help them as they experience through their life. If that's you, type of 4. If you can relate to that, type of 4. Remember, life is not happening to you. Life is happening for you and because of you, because of the decisions that you make, because of the decisions that you don't make, because of the attitudes that you embrace and hold on and you hug. You know what I'm saying? You hold tight like a noose knot. You know what I'm saying? Because you do that, life is happening that way. You know what I'm saying? Because of these things that we do. And so again, my encouragement to you is write this personal memoir. Start documenting it. Because again, I know we want to get behind it, but sometimes in order to go back, in order to move forward, we got to deal with the things that we dealt with behind us. Okay? It's nothing like, you know what I'm saying? It's nothing like trying to drive forward and having an emergency brake on the whole time. And that's how a lot of people are living life. They're trying to move forward, but they're dragging a big behind trailer behind them. And they never dealt with it yet. I remember one of the biggest freeing moments for me was after I got finished playing in the NFL. I went from here, and I went to California, and then out to California for 4 years, I moved back. Well, in the process of me moving from here to California, I moved from here in a house that had a lot of furniture and stuff. So when I moved out there, it was a smaller house. And when I moved out there, I moved a lot of stuff into storage. And I moved into storage out there, and then I was out there for 4 years. And during these 4 years, guess what? I still had that storage. And so every month, the storage was cost me $300 a month for storage, for all the stuff that we had. Now, granted, I'm not only paying, you know what I'm saying, the rent that I was renting when I was out there. I was not only paying the light bill, this and that, but I was paying $300 every single month for this storage. To do what? Just hold on to stuff. And then when I moved from there and I moved back to Jacksonville, I moved it back and moved it into another storage because I downsized and I moved into an apartment, a smaller place, and now I had even more stuff in the storage. Then it was $350 for me to keep my stuff in storage. And so not only am I paying all this other stuff, but I'm paying for this storage. And so it wasn't until, you know, I got fed up and I just said, you know what, enough is enough. I'm no longer trying to move forward carrying all this baggage. I'm no longer trying to move forward and it's storing up all these just memories, all this weight, all this debt, all this resistance, all this possession, all this stuff that's just holding me back and costing me a lot of time, money, energy, resources, everything. And so one of the most liberating days for me was when I basically said, you know what, I got to deal with this. And here's how I dealt with it. I said, you know what? I went in and I took everything out. You know what I'm saying? I took pictures of everything. And then I posted all that stuff on social media and stuff. I said, hey man, listen, I'm having a storage sale. But see, I can hear somebody say, now, Donovan, wait a minute. You was in the NFL. Why do you need to have a storage sale? You know what I'm saying? Why do you need to do this? Why don't you just have somebody come by and just pick it up, pay for them to come and get it? No. Because I got to deal with my own mess. I have to deal with my history. I got to deal with my past. I got to be responsible for what I went through, what I'm going through, and I got to be responsible for giving myself permission to move forward. The easy thing, the scapegoat thing would have been for me just to run and say, hey, somebody come by and get that stuff. But the most valuable and beneficial thing was for me to actually take my time and go in there, make a commitment of time. Make a decision to go in, take the stuff out, go through it, take pictures of it, post it, and then present myself about 2 or 3 times when people wanted to come by to come pick up some of the items to help them move forward. And so when I did all that, and I was able to look at that garage, that storage, and there wasn't anything there, that released me. That released something on the inside of me. To say, you know what, Donovan, I not only had to clap it up for myself, pat myself on the back, celebrate the moment, but it also released me into my destiny. Because I dealt with what I had going on in the past. I took strategic steps to get through it. I evaluated everything in that storage that I needed and everything that I didn't know, that I didn't need. And I was able to move forward. I was able to give away what I wanted to give away. I was able to sell and add value to the things I wanted to add value to. And I was able to release myself. So that means this, over 4 years, watch this, over 4 years that I had that storage, I had paid $13,000 of storage space. $13,000 of storage space. I know somebody looking at it like, whoa. Number one, I wish I had $13,000. Number two, why would you pay that much for that, just for storage? My question to you is, why are you paying that much energy, attention, time, and energy towards something that's holding you back, something that's draining you, not only just of your resources, but also of your energy, your quality of life, your peace of mind? Why are you? That's my question. I flip it to you. Why are you wasting your time on all the things you can't control? All the things you can't control. I'm going to speak this message to somebody personal. Miss Stephanie, stop worrying about what you can't control. Stop trying to get somebody to react to how much love and passion that you feel for them. Okay? It's not until I open up my hands that I'm able to receive what somebody has for me. And so it's not until another person, a son, a daughter, a husband, a wife, a spouse, a coworker, it's not until they're ready to receive what you have, can they ever receive what you have. So you can't force your way into anything. You have to just be you. You have to be you. Everybody's traveling their own journey. And it's at their moment of time. The ancient proverb that says this, that African proverb says this: when a student is ready, the teacher will appear. When a person is ready in their heart to move forward, then they can receive what you have for them. And so just like I am saying, let go of that storage unit. $13,000 is a lot of money to spend on storage. Okay? 10 minutes is a lot of time to spend on things that you can't control. And so again, $13,000, you equate that to your life. How much time have you wasted? How much energy have you expended? How many times have you cried? How much negativity have you attracted and brought to your life by focusing on the things you can't control, and or not letting go of your past, and or not dealing with your past to give yourself permission to move forward? You know what forgiveness is? It's giving yourself permission to move forward. Today, let that be your day. Let that be the day that you say, you know what, storage, I'm done with you. I'm going to deal with you, and I'm going to be done with you. Let today be the day that you realize, you know what, I'm going to forgive myself. I'm going to give myself permission to move forward in my mind, my body, my relationships, and the things that I've been holding on to that I can't control. I'm giving myself permission to move forward. I started this message today talking about the celebration of my latest book that I just finished my draft for. And I'm ending this with the same thing. The power of those quotes has everything to do with the ability to say something in a small amount of time that has the biggest impact. We've been spending, I don't know what time it is here, about 15, 20 minutes or so, 20 minutes. And think about how many years this 20 minutes is giving you the release and benefit and production for. These 20 minutes. You can think about, you can wipe away, you can clean, you can move beyond, you can progress, you can understand, you know what I'm saying? It can empower you years and years of your life. And so the power of something big, putting down into something small. God takes the foolish things of the world to confine the wise. It's in doing the small things very well that really produce the biggest results. And so listen, man, I encourage you guys today, yes, you can. Anybody can share this on your page, okay? That's one of the prerequisites. You can share this. Everything, anything, any videos, go to my YouTube channel, subscribe to those. There's a link. I'm going to upload this to YouTube later on today. So you'll be able to see this here. You'll be able to see it on, you'll be able to get the link and share that on your pages with family, with friends, whatever it is. You have permission, total permission to do it. That's what I'm here for, to pass it along. And so listen, man, I encourage you guys. Thank you guys so much for your time. Remember, if you like these videos, definitely like them, post your comments, subscribe to, you know what I'm saying, these pages, my YouTube pages, push the notification button so whenever I'm coming out with something, you can be notified. You never know. You ever have a situation where you're like, man, out of nowhere, you're going through something and bam, all of a sudden you just become made aware of something that you needed at that moment. Well, by hitting this notification button so you'll be notified, or as you follow this, you follow these pages, go through the settings where you can say, okay, I want to get this first. I want to see this first. So that means whenever I post stuff, you'll see it first. Okay, you'll see it first. It'll come up in your timeline first, so that way you'll be made aware. This is what I do. It's what I do is based off of who I am. I'm a messenger of inspiration and hope to all people in all nations. That's what I'm going to continue to do. I walk around with no bitterness, no frustration, no animosity, and no, you know what I'm saying, and no fear. Why? Not because I'm better than anybody, but because I'm making an act of my decision to do so. I'm forgiving myself, giving myself to move forward. I'm not walking through life talking about all the things that they didn't do, they should have done, they would have done, they could have done. Nope, I'm not walking that way because I can't move forward while still having the foot facing backwards and the eyes facing backwards. So listen, I encourage you guys to have an awesome day today, man. Shout out to everybody that came on today. Really appreciate you guys, man. Have an awesome day today. Share this message, subscribe, post, all that good stuff. Let me know how I can serve you. Post your comments below. All right, talk to you later. Peace.